in the figure below, the square ABCD is made up of two identical large rectangles, which is this and this, and four identical small rectangles, which is this, 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 and this. Now they mentioned that the breadth of each small rectangle, which is this, this, or these are the breadth of the small rectangles, right, is equal to the breadth of the large rectangle, which is this and this and this. And then they said that the area of the smaller rectangle is 21. So this one is 21, 21, 21, 21. So what is the area of ABCD? For questions like this, right, it's actually very simple, but you need to be able to visualize it. They mentioned that the breadth of each of the small rectangles is equal to the breadth of each large rectangle. Now, so all the ones that are equal, right, we always have to do this. All this means that they are the same. They also mentioned that the breadth of the small rectangle is equal to the breadth of the large rectangle. So isn't it the same as well? Now over here, I'm going to ask you a question. If right now they say that this one is ABCD is a square, which means that this entire thing, okay, is the same as this entire thing. Okay, now let's talk about this one first. AB. AB, we know that is made up of 4 breadths. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whereas for BC, which is the same as AB, should also be made up of 4 breadths. But over here they gave us 2 breadths instead. And then they give us a length of the small rectangle. Doesn't this tell us that this length of the small rectangle is equivalent to 2 breadths? Okay, I repeat, the length of AB is made up of 4 breadths. And since AB is equal to BC in length, and we know that BC is made up of 1 breadth and 2 breadths, which means that there are 2 more breadths, right? So doesn't this equate to 2 breadths? If this equate to 2 breadths, I can then do this. Which means that my length of my small rectangle is twice the breadth of the small rectangle. Okay, so this is 2 times of this. Now why is this important to us? It's important to us, right? Because right now I'm going to cut this small rectangle into 2 parts. If I cut it into 2 parts, it will become a square. Because if this is twice the length of this, if I cut it into 2 parts like this will be the same as this, therefore making this into a square by itself. So they mentioned to us that the area of the smaller rectangle is 21. If I cut it into 2, I'll be getting 21 divided by 2, giving us 10.5. So the area of this is 10.5 and the area of this is 10.5, and this is a square. Okay, so if this is a square, right now let's cut up all the 10.5 together. So I'm going to cut all of them up. This is 10.5, 10.5, 10.5, 10.5, 10.5, 10.5. Okay, now if you were to further cut it up over here, so did they give them any information about, okay, so they told us there's 2 identical large triangles, then the breadth of each small rectangle is the same as the breadth of the large rectangle. Then, okay, so from here, we found out that the breadth is the same. And each rectangle is actually made up of 4 equal breadths. Now, which means I can cut the large rectangle into 4 parts. And they will all become a square. And each of the square will have the same area, which is 10.5, 10.5, 10.5, 10.5. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing over here, which is I'm going to cut all of them up, and each of them will be 10.5. Now that we have figured this portion out, so all these, right, are actually quite logical. You have to do breadth and breadth comparison, and then you have to cut them out into different squares. With this will be super easy, because they ask what is the area of ABCD. Now, area of ABCD will just be how many sets of 10.5 are there. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. Therefore, total is 4 times 4, 16 sets. So it would be 16 sets of 10.5. And this will give us the answer of, okay, just throw that as a calculator. 16 multiplied by 10.5, that will give us 168 cm squared. So is there really a need for you to find the length of this, then to find the length of this, and then multiply them together? No, there's actually no need. Okay, just cut them into smaller portions and just add them all up together. Okay, in this way, and you'll be able to get the answer. So for parents who are watching this, right, it is very important for you to teach them how to carve up the figure using the information given. So for certain students, because this paragraph, right, is considered moderately long. If it's considered moderately long, correct, moderately long, right, the students may actually find it very confusing. And before they may even finish the paragraph, right, the fear in them, or the panicky side of them, right, would cause them to skip parts of the information inside the paragraph. And once they skip part of the information in a paragraph, they will find it exceedingly difficult to start carving. Because in order to carve, you need the information inside. Therefore, you have to go through with them sentence by sentence to compare with this diagram. And after you compare it for them, they will be able to get it naturally. Alright, I hope this is helpful. Done.